What's up, buddy? There
Pressing
we
the
go.
button, huh?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
got
it's
lots to talk
time.
about, man.
It's time. I'm the only one behind.
It's
Well,
that
bring it in.
time.
Bring it all. Bring everything in. Bring them all in. I can't bring you any closer. You're as close as you can get.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. I need to go out.
What's up, brother? Hello, Tory.
What's going on, Mr. J. Ryan?
Not a whole lot, man. I think it's time. I'm just gonna do this whole thing. I'm gonna push this button. Yeah, that sound means it's the beginning of the show. It is Tuesdays with Tory. Today is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. Tuesdays with Tory. Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020 is my first time saying that out loud today. Holy smokes.
Holy
Buddy.
alliteration, man. You did good.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking more on the lines of, I'm kind of I don't know if I'm into numerology, but numbers speak to me in weird ways, and sometimes cadence, whatever. I don't want to go too heady on it. So right here in the hellos, but that's a lot. There's a lot going on there. If Mrs. Ryan were here, I would ask her about the astrology today. With that, I will say that Mrs. Ryan is not with us this evening. She is on assignment, but my name is Jay Ryan, and with me here today, all the way from Pittsburgh, is Tori Alonzo. Because this show is named after him. It's Tory Tuesdays with Tory, and this is Tory. What's up, buddy?
I actually got the Tuesday edition down too, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's not you. You're not Spike Ferriston, though. You are this one. That's you.
I appreciate it. There we go.
Sorry, buddy. It's a leftover from the other day.
All good, man. I watched the show. It was really good, Jay.
Oh, I'm so glad to say. Thank you very much. You know what? I'll just let you go ahead with that instead of stepping on you. I'll just take the praise. What did you think of the Spike Ferriston episode? And then I'll tell everybody what we're gonna talk about tonight.
I thought it was really cool. Like, I of course I knew I was gonna dig all of the Letterman talk and whatnot, and that was all awesome too. But like, I don't know. He's so well known for the Soup Nazi episode, and I'm glad you asked. Like, what was it about that episode? And I loved his answer. That was just like, I have no idea. Like,
yeah, you don't know what's going to stick, basically.
Yeah, some jokes hit, some don't, and for whatever reason, that one just resonated with people, and that's the one that I'm known for. So
I hope that he took what I was saying correctly. My point was, he's written so many Seinfelds. Not that there are so many Seinfelds.
Yeah.
Even he has written so many Seinfelds that when I was looking down, like, I don't even know how that really works. Who gets credit for what and whatever the fact.
Right.
But even in my memory, there are other shows that I would list, maybe not above that, but equally easily to the Soup Nazi episode.
Just as funny, just as
that
exactly.
It seems like he should get credit for. So I guess maybe that's just, but I guess that's his point. You don't know what's going to resonate with everybody else.
Yeah.
It's not like he goes around saying the Soup Nazi episode.
Right. No, I don't think he was. I don't think he would take offense to how you put that, because I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like, of all the episodes that he wrote for Jerry, it's like, I wonder why that one. Not that that one's not a good one, but like you said, there were others that were just as strong that no one really talks about. So it's kind of weird, but yeah.
It's been years since let's see, we cut our cable cord years ago. I don't even know how many. And it's been since at least that long since I've seen an episode of Seinfeld. I know they're on all the streamers. We actually bought them way back when I don't even know if you can buy them anymore, but way back in the day, you could buy them on iTunes and stuff. And we actually have them all on our media server as well. It may be time. Like, I've probably taken enough time off where it may be time to revisit it. All I know is that back in the 90s, I, like many people my age, were raised on that show.
Oh yeah.
That's really barely an exaggeration.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was a really interesting watch. I enjoyed his stories, and the story about the throttle cable breaking or whatever on the first car of Letterman's that he drove out of the hangar, and it's just funny.
Yeah. Okay, the story was amazing, and how about that whole everything about that was amazing. I should probably tell everybody else what wasn't so amazing about that episode, and specifically that part of that episode was that I was sweating bullets. Because if you watched back, you could tell that as Spike was telling that story, he's like, and then I'm at Santa Monica Airport, which we all know is where he keeps his cars today, and it's getting better and better and better, and the frame rate starts slowing down on the we're all moving, and then eventually it just freezes, and all the cameras were just frozen on whatever image they were on. So it was just
Yeah.
audio. If you're listening along, obviously you knew no problems whatsoever. But if you were watching, Jay Ryan checked out of that story a little bit because he got a little busy, being that we didn't have a producer or director here to figure out what was going on and troubleshoot. We ended
I
up
could
having.
totally tell that
I
was
don't
going
have
on.
the answer other than there was iOS 14 got released right before the day before the show, and one of our devices auto updated. I think it might have been my phone, whatever. And I thought to myself, you know what? I better do everything just in case. So I spent the whole morning, probably the better part of the afternoon, actually, probably from like legitimately from 1 o'clock till showtime, like updating everything, making sure everything was like set, and it didn't occur to me to like, hey Spike, did you do your side or whatever was going on there. The whole thing crapped out, and we had to cut, and we were live, as some of you were watching live. Sorry, you guys, there was a bunch of comments on there. Apologies. It just happens, and we picked it up, and I tried to piece it together as much as I could, but Jay Ryan was sweating bullets for the Spike Ferriston episode.
Yeah, I could
we
totally
saw him
tell.
on Sunday, and when he asked me, he was like, how did how did we do? Are you happy? Did you like it? And I was like, yeah, you were great. Are you kidding? I mean, I'm totally displeased with me. We didn't get to my stuff. I was really a wreck. And he's like, technical difficulties are. I'm not a stranger to technical difficulties. I was like, I know you were
Yeah.
amazing. I really appreciate it, but I was not. If you watch
And
back, I'm sure
it's
you can
part
tell.
of the game.
I'm
Yeah,
sure you
it's
can
all part
tell.
of the game. Yeah. I was actually watching it live when that happened, and then like when it froze or whatever, and I could tell that you were like switching cameras to see if it would like reset or if there was something else, like a camera that was still working and
I
just
was
nothing.
for
So I mean,
that's you got it. I
yeah.
was for anything. Please,
Oh yeah.
please.
Oh yeah. I could dude, I know you well enough that like I'm watching your face as this is all going down. I was like, "Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. Abort, abort." You
It's like from full on eye contact, interested, to like, hey, something's going on over here. To then you see the
Yeah,
face like
yeah.
kind of crestfallen, like, oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like your eyes are glazing over as he's telling this amazing story. I was like,
this
"Oh
amazing
shit, this
story
isn't good."
involving classic Porsches, David
Everything, yeah.
Letterman. I mean,
Like all of it. Yeah, literally one story hitting on all the things that you like
yeah,
find
and how
holy
Spike
and
Ferriston got his start in the business, all at the same time, all in one
yeah.
story. Because he said it was
Yeah,
only
it's
like his
crazy.
second week on the job when that happened.
Yeah, that was nuts. But so I ended up going back and watching it after you had uploaded it later that night, and it was fantastic. Like you did great with the post production or whatever it was that you did, or
Oh, thanks, man.
however
Luckily,
you
I'm
fixed
glad
it.
we cut it. The truth is,
Yeah.
what you didn't see was that Spike, and there was like 15 minutes between when we, after like we shut things down and cut whatever the heck, we couldn't get it connected again. You know, we're
Oh
doing this via
no.
a
Oh
Zoom.
man.
It the interface is like Zoom in that, what you're seeing, but it's all through my little virtual control room here on the Switcher Studio. So
Right.
there wasn't really much I could do but reboot and hope for the best. And he kept joining, and I kept seeing him, not
Hmm.
seeing him rather. I would see the black box, no video,
Okay.
no audio. I would just see Spike Ferriston in the room.
Oh man.
Meanwhile, on his side, he's doing everything he can, going in and out, ping ponging.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, thanks again to Spike Ferris.
Ugh.
He was totally fine. He said it was no big deal at all on Sunday. But like I said, it's
Well, cool.
always the ones where you like want to impress somebody, or you at the very least want to be your best, right?
Of course, of course.
Magnus, something happened with Magnus the first time. I can't remember what it was. Something happened with Jeff Zwart. One of the times he was here, not the first time, thank God, but like his second time, we lost all the audio or something. I can't remember. Just it's always something when it's like you're trying to like level up or climb the pole or the rope or
Yeah.
whatever. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for being
Well,
so
like you
nice and
said,
letting me. I apparently really needed to unload that because I felt it in.
No, I mean, like you said, he's no stranger to technical difficulties. I mean, he's in TV production and writing and whatever else. I mean, he knows that
Thankfully,
happens. I
he
mean,
was nice and said that. But yeah, it
yeah,
is what it is.
that's cool.
It is what it is.
Yeah, that worked out. So.
Thank you for watching, though. What did you think of? I thought it was really cool to hear a little bit. That certainly that I didn't know, and how he didn't. It wasn't dissimilar. Like his experience with that building and with that show.
I know.
And
I know.
and his little
The
sort
mug.
of obsessed, kind of like
Yeah.
brain
Oh, yeah.
that he described. So wild.
What I liked about it too is I felt like there wasn't any judgment on his part over your microphone because he had the mug, and it sounds like he just kind of swiped the mug off the desk too. So it's like everyone took something. It seems like so.
It's
You
so
know,
funny. I feel like he was just being very nice about all that stuff, and I feel like he has continued to be. I don't know if he. I still don't know. In fact, it's not like he watches this show, so I don't. It's not like these conversations are getting back to him. You know what I mean?
right?
But I do. I am curious. Did you watch all the way to the end where he gives me? He throws down a challenge to Jay Ryan.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
everything.
Well, I mean, I have to do that, of course, right?
You're talking about the studio, right?
No. At the very end of
Oh,
the episode, he gives Jay Ryan a challenge. He goes, "I challenge you
oh yeah,
to."
come get this microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The blue microphone, his home studio mic. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
the
God,
Yeti
don't
or
tempt him.
whatever.
He'll be breaking into Brentwood. Everyone likes
Here's
the
the thing,
challenge.
and I don't know. I don't. You know what? I think I can tell this story. I'm going to tell this. Do you want to hear a quick story? It's
I'd love to,
related to
Joey.
how feasible this is, and I don't have to do any work
Okay.
but drive over
All
there.
right. Yeah. Let's hear.
Here's the thing. This doesn't help my case as the Letterman stalker guy or anything, but the truth is, I do know exactly where Spike Ferrison lives, and it's not because of any sleuthing or anything. It's because Jay Ryan is the guy who's full of coincidences. I was at one point going to somebody else way more famous than Spike's house, and I
Mm-hmm.
passed it. Didn't know I
Mm-hmm.
passed it. I was looking for it, and then I don't know what I was doing. I got confused because the street changed names, whatever. I was doing it in the navigation. Anyway, I got a little bit further up the street before I turned around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Spike posts a lot of his pictures of his house on Instagram because these cars are dropped off in the
Yeah.
front, whatever. Well, I found myself right
Yeah.
in front of Spike Ferriston's house, and I'm like, ugh, and I'm the guy with the brain that like, I know, of course I read. I'm like,
That's
I
still
didn't
funny.
mean to be here. So I totally, and then
Yeah.
I remembered it doesn't matter. And then I remembered the history of him
I
being across from Steve McQueen's house. So then it became a thing for like, oh, which one's Steve McQueen's house? And then then
yeah.
it became a little bit of a stalkery thing, but it wasn't because of him. And the whole episode lasted about 3 to 5 minutes with the turnaround. But the funny thing is, I do know exactly where he lives, and I basically just need I guess I just
Break.
need you to tell me, yeah, go do it.
What's funny is, dude, I have the same exact story. I was with one of my somewhat famous friends who happened to live in Brentwood at the time, and we
Oh, I
were
know who you're
cruising
talking
up.
about.
Yeah, of course, we were cruising up the canyon, and he told me that used to be Steve McQueen's house, and so I did the same exact thing. Like I
You're
followed Spike
shitting
long
me.
enough that no,
Well, wait,
I
what? But
followed Spike long enough.
well, I don't want to say too much. I mean, we really shouldn't be
No,
saying
no,
too much here.
obviously, yeah.
But the road I'm talking about. Oh, you know what? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I just don't know the area. I thought it was a dead end, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe you and my
I'm not gonna
friend
say because it'd be super easy to figure out at this point, but I definitely know where he lives as well. It's not
got
hard.
it.
But,
I'm sorry, I just did what I did, and I'm gonna
sorry,
keep
Spike.
going.
I
Keep
hope you have
going
a
as though
really
it didn't
good.
even happen.
Hope you have a really good security system because now everyone's gonna be trying to find your house.
Oh
But
my god, so
it's all
funny.
good. But yeah, I literally had the same exact thing happen. I was like, because I was having this weird deja vu. I was like, that like stucco house looks so familiar. How do I know that? And then I was like, put the two together. I was like, I know because I know who lives there. That's why. Yeah,
Isn't that a
same
riot?
thing. Yeah, it's funny. Well, it's such a small world though. I mean, like more so with cars and stuff, but like when I'm out in LA and I'll like see certain cars or like I'm sure if for visitors that come to the Malibu kitchen or whatever, like you see these guys roll up and you know their car before you know who it is or you know who they are because of the car.
Right.
I mean if you see the CHP Mustang, that's,
Right.
who
There
it
isn't
is,
one
and
in
then
service anymore, so it's clearly
yeah,
Bruce Meyer.
exactly. It's Bruce Meyer or, Spike's Pulitzer Beetle. Like that same thing. Like, oh yeah, I mean, you just know it's such a small world and we're always on our phones looking at these things all day long on Instagram. So yeah, it's pretty easy to pick these folks out. So houses aren't much different.
What is it much different?
Houses aren't much different.
Oh,
I
right,
mean,
right, right. Yeah, right. Well,
especially with
once
the
you have that,
architecture in that area. Yeah, it's so like,
and
distinct.
once your brain is once you're kind of tuned
Of
into
course.
like looking for
Yeah.
details and stuff, like we all are.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So
problem
funny.
picking out a house because we all kind of share the same brain of like architecture and stuff that we're into and whatever else. So no, I agree. But yeah, literally had the same thing happen. So weird.
Um, let's see. What was I going to say a second ago? I can't remember. Well, maybe it'll come back to me. It was Spike Ferriston related. I don't want to make the whole show about that, but that was really cool. And thanks again to Spike Ferriston for doing our little show. I love that he. I love that he didn't know what to make of it either. He's like, "You're doing it wrong." Basically, he's like, "You're doing the wrong show." But yet he laughed when I fully acknowledged that. I'm like, I know, but what are you going to do? I
Yeah,
mean, this is what we're doing. We're
yeah,
doing this.
yeah. I didn't know they were handing out talk shows. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love your
yeah.
line there. You're like, hey, if you can make it happen, like I'm here, I'm ready, got it. Are they handing those out nowadays? I think that's what you said.
Well, here maybe will be the natural progression of things. Maybe I will now produce what will become the Spike Ferriston talk show, and maybe that will become a huge hit. We'll turn his. I'll do the video. We'll turn his, and I'll start producing it, and we'll
Yeah,
make his podcast into a talk show through a
I
through the
think that would be
platforms. But
cool.
and then once it gets successful enough that he's the guy who does that sort of thing, then when he retires, I'll just follow in his footsteps. he'll,
There
he'll
you
he'll
go.
be the
There you go.
go-between between me and Dave.
You get it
It'll
all
be
planned out, man.
yeah, Dave. Then no, this is all happening in real time. Are you telling me it's?
Awesome.
I didn't think it through. Is it? Has it not?
Oh man. No, that was an interesting show though. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of insight, and I just thought it was. I mean, for him to sit there and say that's you got a TV show there, Jay. Like, I mean, I think he was
You're
even
doing a
like,
TV
and he
show.
hasn't
This
even.
looks like a TV show. Yeah.
Yeah, and dude, wait till he sees it in person one day. I mean, it's impressive on video, but like when you walk in there and see this is like, in your like house in Toluca
Thanks,
Lake,
man.
like
Do you know the total
ridiculous.
irony is like he's the audience that I built this silly room for. This Field of Dreams silly studio that
Yeah,
doesn't really make sense to most of the world. There's
yeah,
like
he would
there's
appreciate
like
it.
20 people. There's like 100 people in the world who ever worked on that show or whatever that were ever in that room. And ironically, that's who I did it for. Somehow this
Yeah,
weird thing, and I feel like somehow
yeah.
I don't know. Unfortunately, then there was COVID, and we're all on Zoom.
I know. But fingers crossed, if we can get this licked, then you can help him out with a studio. Because
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds like that's for sure happening. So
yeah.
he
I
was
uh, I
impressed
think
with Matt's studio. So it sounds like his is going to be next, and you're the guy. So
it's funny. I was gonna. I don't want to talk too much about it, but what the heck? It's not like we have a full agenda or anything. But I do want to talk about your car. We're going to talk about Tory bought a car. He bought a car. We're going to talk
oh
all about it
yeah,
in a little bit.
search is over. Thank
And
God.
also Cobra Kai. There's more Cobra Kai news. We're going to talk about that in a little bit too. But first, Smoking Tire. Even though the studio is done, we've still been very busy. I've been helping them do other episodes as well, which has been great. We did one with Guy Fieri yesterday that is up already. It's up today.
That's awesome.
As in
And
like
Matt's studio looks so much better than Guy's. It's funny. I saw that. I
well,
was
Guy
like,
was
oh
just at his
man.
desk, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and then we're doing another one on Friday with Marco from TLG, which would be very cool.
Cool.
'Cause that's
Very
like
cool.
family, and he'll be in person, so that'll be kind of nice.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, it's really it's
Now is Rogan already in Texas?
Rogan's in Texas and been producing shows for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, like
Wow.
releasing shows, so they're going.
They're already out. Wow. How's the studio look? Is it good?
I think they're figuring it out.
Are
That's going
they?
to be my as I've under. I mean, if you go to YouTube and look about it, there's probably way more videos about Joe Rogan's studio than actual from other people than
Shows.
actual videos that Joe Rogan has produced out of his studio.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
many people doing the why I hate Joe Rogan's new studio or all of the things wrong with Joe Rogan's new
Oh
studio or
no.
why Joe Rogan's new
Really?
studio needs my touch or all of those different things.
Okay.
And I don't disagree with most of them. Everybody's a damn know-it-all. It's the internet now, so
Yeah.
everybody knows
Of
everything
course.
because they can look it all up on their iPhone first and then talk to you about it. Um, I don't mean anything by that other than nobody really earned the knowledge. You don't. This is kind of I'm going old school. Anyway, you should check it out. You should see what you think. I don't want to. I don't want to pepper it. I see what they were going for, and I think that it's close. And I know that I could help them get there.
I'll check it out.
Just, Joe, remember me from News Radio? I was a PA. It's true.
Yeah.
By the way, if I didn't say this already, I'm Jay Ryan, and this is my buddy Tory Alonso over here in Pittsburgh. We're doing everything it's piecemeal today.
Yeah, dude.
I said it was 2020, right? You already know that because the damn sky is falling?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let's just keep everybody in a good mood. Let's do a little of this. I did this at the end of the Spike Show, and it just put me in such a good mood. Oh, who doesn't love Bubbles? This is
Bubbles
refreshing.
Makes everything
Doesn't
better.
This just make you feel good? Come on, everybody.
It does. Makes everything better.
I'm going to do a little... Dave used to call this radioactive steam. I'm going to do a little radioactive steam, too. Just
a little steam job.
It's oozing out in only the way it would in New York. Here we go. Oh. It might be too much. It might be too much. We'll see how it goes.
Your seat's on fire, Jay.
It's... We haven't... Pardon me. We haven't pushed that button in a while, and that stuff gets potent as it... It's probably like concentrate right now,
Yeah.
How it can you? Is it bad for you?
All the good stuff went to the bottom.
Is it bad for you?
Oh my god!
All right, I should probably turn some of these things off. There we go. We'll kill that. There we go. Boy, that's lovely, isn't it? It does put you in a good mood.
That's fantastic, Jay. That just yeah. Nothing like filling your apartment up with smoke.
Well, there's that, but I'm bringing in the holiday season for you, Tory. Today is the first day of fall, and being that it's 2020, that means it'll be snowing probably by tonight.
Oh my god!
This already makes me think of the holiday times.
Yeah, well, I had to turn the furnace on the other day. I was not happy about that.
Oh, so this is. I was kind of making a joke, but this is accurate then.
No, it's accurate. I mean, it's not snowing, but I mean, I think it's been down in the 30s at night, like high 30s here.
Oh my gosh.
We'll have our first freeze here pretty soon. All my little hummingbird friends have gone south. They're en route to Central America as we speak. I'm so bummed. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our musical guest tonight. It is Blues Traveler. It looks...
It's awesome. It does look like a...
Yeah. You know what? Why do you have this if you're not going to do this? You know what I mean? That's the truth of it. We need a confetti cannon.
Yeah, I think that's.
You know what?
I think that's the only thing you don't have. Yeah,
we're lacking a confetti cannon.
Yeah, I think you need one of those. So, what is the wildfire situation like now? What's the latest with the Bobcat? Bobcat still.
It's not good.
Rearing its ugly head.
It's not good.
It's not good, is it?
It's really not good. So you remember a couple weeks ago I showed you this.
Yeah.
And this was just one morning. We couldn't get to Breakfast Club. We knew there was a fire. We didn't know how far we could get. We got pretty close. This is about a mile past 9 Mile. Mm-hmm. And we only had, I think, we've shown this before. I think there was only 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 cars tops that stayed. No, sorry. Whatever, that doesn't matter. Don't listen to that guy.
We're doing it. It's Good Vibes Breakfast Club, except
we heard this already. It's not good. Everything
is
up there is
Newcomb's okay?
shut.
Have you heard?
I mean, ironically, it's crazy that we're talking about it and looking like this, and it's not actually a joke, but this is about what it looks like around here. We don't know much right now, and on Monday, it was Friday. Friday was the day we were saying by the end of the day, we're going to either be celebrating or crying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it was really neither, because while we weren't crying, we weren't even remotely clear. It just didn't happen yet. It moved different directions. It got pushed this way, pushed that way, didn't quite push this way. Mm-hmm. And then as the weekend went on, it started moving in every damn direction. And it is now, as of the last time I looked at the news, 106 or 107. I think it was just changing to 107,000 acres. That was, last time I looked at the news, was about noon today. So I would guess it's a lot more than that now. What I do know is it has jumped the 2 in so many places. It's now burning all in and around, I know, east and west of Upper Big Tahunga, and that puts it into the Chileo region. And I know Valermo did not do well. I think that Valermo burned. I know that a lot of the campsites burned. Mount Wilson has been... I don't really know what's going on with Mount Wilson. It seems to still be there. The TV's still on the air. And every single day there's something new with Mount Wilson. It comes up this side. It's got 500 feet away, and they batted it down. And then later the next day or that night they set backfires to keep it away. And those actually did. Then the wind swarmed, and that got as close as 100 feet. And then if you know where Mount Wilson is, it's at the top of a peak, so it kind of can come from almost anywhere.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, almost 360 degrees.
Kinda, and there's only one road to get to it, and that becomes a big issue if they can't get to it, or if they're there but they can't get out. They have to. If it looks like they might not be able to get out, they have to get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's really not. It's not good, and it hasn't gotten better. They continue to keep the observatory safe, and they're trying to do that with structures. But I mean, you're getting mixed reports. I don't want to say anything, but I have heard that some structures in Chileo did burn, but that's not confirmed. So I don't know. And Karina's not there, so she can't tell us. And it would, how these things work. It kind of makes sense. They're like, oh, one did, but 5 didn't. You know what I mean? Like, that's totally possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't know much other than it's not good, and we're telling everybody to stay out of the area. And when I say we, I mean like they are telling the people to stay out of the area, and we are staying out of the area and telling our people to as well. Yeah. It's we didn't go to Breakfast Club last week. We said no, give them their space, because at that point it was like, it's starting to cross the 2. It's half a week later or so, and it's still going. And now that's the other thing. Jeez. It's crossed, and already now it's gone down into the Palmdale area, and now it's burning down into Palmdale. No joke. So the 138 I heard was shut down, and the 14 is shut down. Like, these are highways, not in the mountains. These are main highways.
Right.
So I got to get on the news after this to actually find out what is going on. I mean, this is not. I'm giving you news right now from like noon today. Nothing current.
Man, what a bummer. That's too bad.
And then the fear for me is that everything will come back as far as green and tree and all that stuff, but they probably will close the crest, and I'm hoping that isn't the case, but it's totally possible for safety.
Yeah,
because if the ground is all, if there's no life holding the ground together, and then we get a rainstorm, and then the ground isn't there, and it's not holding the road up, and
yeah, you don't want to be on that road when that happens either. That ain't gonna be pretty.
Well, no, and any one of those could make it gone for good, just like the 39 30 years ago or whatever. That's still closed, never to be reopened, like never to be road. They'd have to make a new road through the mountainside.
That's crazy. Man, that's a bummer. Wah wah wah.
Wah wah.
Sorry to be Debbie Downer and bring up bad stuff. I was just curious, like,
how's
what the deal is with everything.
I guess I did it by pushing the smoke button. It's still kind of hazy in here.
Well, like I'll keep the Debbie Downer thing going and tell you what I watched the other night. That
brought
back
all right,
crazy memories. If you want to go there, that'll be.
Oh no, I know what you're gonna say.
Cobra
Kai. New to Netflix. Go
ahead. Of course you're gonna say it. Yeah.
No, you say it. You say it.
Yeah, I watched Challenger.
Yeah, what is it? 4 parts? 4-part miniseries?
4 parts. Yeah, J.J. Abrams
on
did
Netflix. Available on Netflix now.
Yeah, it was good, man. But I'd tell you what, like, it brought back some weird ass memories for me, because I mean, like all of us, we were sitting in the cafeteria eating lunch when this, space shuttle exploded.
It's
Challenger.
Very funny. It's very funny. We for whatever
I didn't think
reason,
it was that funny, actually. I thought it was really sad.
You're a dick. You're a dick for doing that to me. He totally did that to me. Dangling mother. Anyway, we for whatever reason we weren't in the cafeteria,
Jay,
but it was 3rd grade for me also. But we at some point we were watching a movie. I can't remember what was going on in school, or whatever, but we were watching a movie that day, so we weren't watching the Challenger thing.
No way. Correct.
So and this is what's crazy. If you recall my story from my childhood, we were one of the schools that helped name the. No, that's not true. It was later. It was the Endeavor. It was later. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
skip
different
that. Anyway,
special.
but anyway, we weren't watching it, and but I do remember the teacher's aide coming in afterwards and them flipping the lights on. You know, like there's that jarring thing, and then them pulling the chairs up and sitting down. We're like, wait a second, how did you didn't even watch this movie? Like, what are you gonna now talk to us about the movie?
Yeah.
And
Counselor
it was
comes
obviously
in.
completely unrelated, and it was, you know, we had all, like you, I'm sure you made crafts in class of like, you know, of all the different drawing the space shuttle and everything. So they were like, all right. So she's telling us the whole thing. All right, so it did launch, but it exploded. The whole thing. It was very, very strange. And then they changed it over to like the news, which was not good.
That's weird. So mine was the opposite experience. Like we were literally like eating lunch out of our lunch boxes, you know, in the cafeteria. They had the AV cart set up like right front and center of the stage, like, you know, in front of the cafeteria where we were all eating and stuff. Watched it go up live, watched it explode, and it was just like silence. And then like,
so you kids even knew at that age, like you were all silent because you knew. Wow.
Yeah, I mean the younger kids. I mean, I was third grade, so I mean I knew it wasn't supposed to split into like 6 pieces. You know,
I know,
mean,
but you know there are pieces that, you know, like the boosters do.
Yeah, like
and
the boosters.
There are similar things, and if you don't know what you're looking at, you know, when you watch that Challenger thing, there's people in the crowd who were like, you know, I thought everything was fine. We didn't know until they said.
And they even said, you know, obviously there's been a major malfunction, whatever. And then I remember the teacher running over and just turning it off. So like we didn't get to see the news or anything that happened after that. Like I saw it explode.
Oh, it
I
is
saw
the opposite.
Pieces raining down, and then boom, that was it. Shut it off. Didn't watch the news, none of that. I think counselor.
What part of the world were you when that happened?
I was at Santa Rita Elementary School in Midland, Texas, West Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, we learned a lot just because of NASA being in Houston, and it was a Texas thing. I mean, we were pretty like we did a lot of stuff about space back then. And
I was thinking that, but I was also thinking you're really good programmed Americans in Texas too.
We are, yeah, we are.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, you saw that. Let's get this off until we hear the official story later. You know, like let's not have these kids.
Yeah. It was that was a crazy time, but it's funny because like I remember one guy that they like Ralphie from A Christmas Story is in this documentary series, which I had no idea.
Hang on, Peter Billingsley?
Yes, dude.
She worked with him for years. Nicole worked with him for years. Yeah, they know each other very well.
Yeah, Ralphie's in this, dude. It's weird. I was like, because at first, like, they didn't say who he was at first because I didn't know the guy's name, but it obviously says like Peter Billingsley or whatever his name is at the bottom. But I'm like, God, that guy looks like Ralphie from The Christmas Story. And sure enough, it was like he was part of some like kids in space program or something. That
because of the timing, that makes sense. He was Marvin, the Hershey Kiss guy. You know, the Hershey syrup. Messy Marvin.
Yeah, so I think he was actually there and like watched it. Like they flew him there.
Good Lord!
Like, yeah, it was crazy.
You know what most people don't know about him is they think, oh, whatever happened to that kid from Christmas Story? You know, he's not doing anything since that. He's been producing for years. Almost anything Vince Vaughn or Jon Favreau have been involved with. Look at the third name. It's Peter Billingsley.
Oh wow!
They have a production company together, Wild Wild West Productions.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, he's on there.
So Nicole used to do some work with them.
Oh, okay. Cool. But you know, it was weird because I don't know if it was him. I don't know if it was him that said it or if it was someone else, but they said something that kind of struck me, and I was like, God, that's kind of right. For a lot of kids, like it was kind of the end of innocence, like because that's really your first death that you're exposed to.
That was their 9/11.
For me, it was.
For the next ones, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like we missed JFK, but you know this was before 9/11. So
right.
But you know, for a lot of
the grandparents had Pearl Harbor, and then our parents had JFK.
Exactly.
Well, you're right. There's one for each generation.
Yeah, and literally, like I didn't have any, you know, I'd never been to a funeral at that point, you know, when I was a kid, and I didn't really know anybody that had died or passed away. So like to see this live on television as a third grader, you know, that was a major deal, and I never thought about it that way. But when he said that, I was like, gosh, that's kind of right. Like, I mean, I watched 7 people die, you know, on live television. That's pretty fucked up.
That is wild. Yeah, you did, and I didn't, and I never had that.
Yeah, it's weird, really weird. But and then
boy, that's
like
a weird. Tori, you just might have helped me figure out some of my stunted growth as a youth. Like I didn't have that. It's
totally weird. Yeah, it's really weird, and I didn't put this together until years later. Like, but I remember being in Orlando. So when I lived in Orlando, the big thing was to watch the space shuttle come back in. When it would do its reentry, it would come over Orlando, then circle around, and then it would land at Cape Canaveral when it didn't go to
So
Edwards Air
cool.
Force Base. So we'd always go out and listen to the sonic booms, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
and it would
boom,
like,
boom. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it would rattle the windows. It was always cool. And if you looked, like if you knew where to look, where the landing path was, you could see a glimpse of it. I can tell you how many launches I saw living in Orlando. It was amazing. One time I was working
Wow.
a flight out of Orlando. We were literally the last plane to leave Orlando International before they shut the airspace down, and we were climbing to like 8,000 feet, and we were going to Providence, Rhode Island. And the captain was like, come up here, come up here. So, I went up in the flight deck, and I looked off to the right, and he was like, the shuttle's launching right now. And I literally got to see the shuttle launch
From the
as
air.
we're flying, like, north of Orlando, because Cape Canaveral's just right there off the coast. And I watched it launch from like 8,000 feet. It was amazing.
Holy cow.
It was really cool. But I remember in 2000, I think it was 2003, I'm tracking Columbia, watching it, on the
That
news
one I
coming in,
watched
because I was
live.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. We'll hear the sonic booms again. This is going to be really cool. And then they show it, breaking news over Texas, and you see, I mean, it almost looked like a meteor shower. There's like 4, 5, 6, 10 like pieces just streaming across the sky. I was like,
Yeah, it
oh,
looked
that's
more
not
like
good.
fireworks. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, geez, like my heart sank, because I think, the third grader in me remembered that moment. It was like, God, that's not right. That's not supposed to happen. This is not normal. And man, like watching that 4-part series just brought a lot of that back. It was really crazy. I
So
mean, it
did
was
you? So
good, but
you
it was,
watched the Columbia as well?
oh yeah, oh
So
yeah, I
you saw
watched
that.
that.
So I mean, you. So you watched. Yeah. I mean, well, not to not to add your hash marks, but you've seen 14 astronauts die live. Then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have.
Good
Sad,
grief.
really sad. Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, I won't ruin it for anyone that hasn't seen the Challenger thing, but it's really messed up because it could have been prevented. That's like the
That
sad
well, that
takeaway
is a
from it.
yeah.
You know,
I haven't actually seen it, but I mean, I've certainly
jeez,
known that
you know
side of
enough
the
about it
story for
though.
the years.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it is an interesting. It's a perspective thing.
yeah.
Life can go
It's
either way at
sad.
all times.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's worth a watch, man. I really enjoyed it. I got on this space kick this week for some reason, because then I watched Away, which is the
Oh, good.
new.
Don't tell me anything yet because it's on the
I
queue.
won't.
We're working our way through
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, which we still have to talk
There
about.
you go. Yeah. But I was on the space kick this week, so that's what I was watching, man. But
Let me
Challenger
know
was
when
good.
you want to go into some like we should do a whole show on like space movies and old space movies and stuff because
We
I
should.
I
Yeah.
can go
Like Space
deep
Camp.
on that stuff. You know me. I love that stuff.
Yeah. I loved Space Camp as a
2001
kid.
it
That
was
was
like
awesome.
once I fucking understood excuse my language again, but once I understood that movie it blew my mind. As a kid I never
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Buddy,
Space.
I think that it might be time to remind everybody about you being interested in getting a Beetle again, and we started over here looking at this, not this one, but you were looking at for stuff like this, and then you
Oh, it was
posted
that
this.
one. That's what pisses me off. The yellow one is the one that I wanted and had access to, and the guy just didn't want to sell it. So yeah, that didn't
That
work
is,
out.
that is true, and apparently still a
Whatever.
bitter point. But you
Totally.
posted this: wanted to buy Project 80s Custom, looking for a Survivor 80s Custom bug project. Post of what you've got available. This is an example of what I'm looking for: outdated mods like one-piece windows, louvers, or graphics. A plus. So you started getting responses, and then you got a response from somebody who had that actual car.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
This guy
Small
was
world.
willing to sell it, but it wasn't really the car for you in the end, if I recall. Then we were
Yeah, it
looking at
had some rust issues.
we were looking at things like this. I called that the bowing Herbie. And
Yep.
then Johnny entered your life.
Yeah, that thing comes along. I was like, oh, what do we got here? That's pretty cool.
And these were the pictures we looked at last week.
So literally, so yeah, so last Tuesday is when he sent me the rest of the pictures for that car. He had actually sent them as we're doing the show last Tuesday. So all of this is transpiring in the last week.
Yeah,
And
so the moment we were done, you were going to your phone and going through the
oh
text and
yeah.
the pictures and everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I literally jumped off of the show last Tuesday, got on my phone, I'm looking at the pictures. I was like, yes, 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 that's exactly what I want. Like, the car has zero rust on it. I mean, the floor pans are like perfect. You could eat off of them. They're no rust whatsoever on the car. I mean, it needs some work. What car doesn't? But the price was totally right, and it's got, the one piece windows that I wanted, and the baby turbo mirrors. I mean, it's a straight '80s, throwback car, and it's got some really cool like history to it. It came out of this shop called Johnny's High Performance in Southgate. That's where the car was built and from. And for whatever reason, now it made its way up to Simi Valley. The guy got it off of Craigslist like 3 or 4 years ago, from some like 20-year-old kid that knew nothing about Volkswagens. It'd been sitting in his backyard. I think he'd driven it for a while, but then he got another car, and the bug just kind of sat in the backyard. And so this guy wanted to fund his other bug that he's building right now, and he's like, "Look, it's going to be a while before I get to this thing, and I'll give it to you $100, which is super cheap. I mean, it's a running driving car, no rust." I was like, done. Even if I have to pay $1,500 to ship it here, I'm still money ahead for the kind of crap that's around here in Pennsylvania that's all rusted out. So yeah, I bought the car. Literally, like, sent him a cashier's check the next day, overnighted it. Cashier's check cleared. Car got picked up, I think, on Sunday. Yeah, car got picked up on Sunday, and it's somewhere in between Simi Valley and here. I think Sunday night he was taking the car to their trucking depot in Long Beach, and then they were going to switch trucks, or he was going to offload it, deliver the other Mustangs, and then pick it back up, or who knows?
This car looks
I don't
awesome.
know, but
this car looks awesome. I don't even know why.
it's going to be
I
neat.
already like it. It already looks happy to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It lost some of the cool parts along the way, which always happens. Like anytime you have like a custom car, like it was originally lowered, like it had a front beam on it that was lowered originally. Someone put a stock beam back on it. It's just got a stock 1600 motor in it now. Back in the day, I guess it had a really big 2-liter motor with 48 Webers, and I'm gonna put all that stuff back on it. I'll make it cool again. But so yeah, it's on its way. I don't have high hopes for it getting here because apparently the guy that, like, the truck driver, like, didn't speak English. I don't know if he's Russian. Like, most of them are like Eastern European now, but like I guess the guy couldn't even drive a standard, like couldn't even drive the
no.
And he was like, the guy that sold to me was like,
up there.
yeah, and he was like, the guy that sold to me was like, I apologize in advance if you don't have a clutch when the car gets to you. But he said this guy didn't even know how to drive a standard. I told him I'd help him put it on, but he didn't know what he was doing. And he was like, no, you can't drive the car on. I have to drive it on. He said he was like grinding gears. I was like, great. That's fantastic. But so I don't know. But it didn't.
So I don't know.
It didn't make sense to spend $2,000 to ship a car I paid $3,500 for. Like I didn't want to do the enclosed shipping on this car because it just didn't.
Oh yeah,
its
no, I know your
condition
point.
did not warrant it. So unfortunately, like when you do the open carrier, this is the people you deal with, and they're usually totally flaky and not great people. So
you got to start making friends. You got to start making friends with some of the carriers who, whenever they have an open spot, you know what I mean? Like, if we're going that way anyway.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know.
I'm just saying, you have so many cars. I mean, you're a legitimate collector now. Your cars have been in museums and Porsche, literally at Porsche. You have some cred now. Is all I'm saying. You have some street cred.
Yeah. I should have called Reliable just to see like what they had coming out this way, because they usually are the ones that ship for me if I do enclosed carrier stuff, and they're great. But this guy sucks. Like he's terrible. Like, I mean, they were supposed to give us a 2-hour notice when he was getting picked up, and they were like 2 hours late, and he got a 5-minute notice. And just like, these are the people you deal with. And I have since the car got picked up, I have not been updated once, and it's Tuesday now, I think. And I think last Saturday they had told me that it was going to be here Friday night. But I mean, who knows? Because they don't stick to anything. Like, they haven't stuck to anything they've said so far. So I'll be shocked if I have it by next week. But maybe by next week's show I'll have it, and I'll take some more pictures of it. But who knows?
Well, at least it's en route to you.
Yeah, ish.
Well, I mean,
We'll
truly, it's gonna arrive and it's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? And you're planning on changing and not changing, but you're planning on touching every inch of this car anyway. So it's kind of like it'll just give you more shit to do this winter.
I suppose. Yeah, exactly. So
I'll tell you what's funny is the color outside, and the shot here on the truck. The color is whatever it is faded to is very similar to whatever color the Beetle was that I grew up with. And ours was a Super Beetle, so I don't know I don't remember. It was a 70s Super Beetle. I don't remember the year. What were those?
I want to say that color was like Marina Blue, maybe. It was like 71 to 73 Super Beetles, I think, were that Marina Blue. So that's probably
I would have said 72. So that sounds about right.
That's probably what it is. I think this thing will darken up once I compound it, because I'm gonna try and rub the paint out as much as I can. The interior paint is beautiful on this car. It just sat out and cooked in a backyard in Reseda. Actually, the car is from Reseda. That's where he told me he found it on Craigslist. So
you have Johnny's car from Reseda.
I know, isn't that funny?
Amazing.
Cobra Kai, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty cool. So
should we? Well, I mean, being that we'll talk more about this next week when it gets here, should we talk about Cobra Kai?
Yes, let's. Yeah. So you've watched more, obviously.
Yeah, well, you remember I was caught up. I watched them all, and we talked about it last week or the week before. I can't remember. So much has happened since then.
Yeah, that's right. Because I really liked the last episode, and you were like, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, I liked after the big battle royale, but I didn't think that was necessary or good.
Yeah, that was a little over the top.
Yeah. What I'm taking with, I think I told you last time that I had watched the second Karate Kid, right? Did I tell you that?
Yes.
And I was taken with what a good movie it was.
It's off yet.
All right, so that is all needed to be said for now coming up. We were watching. Did we spike Ferris? Oh, you're back. Okay. Thought we were frozen again. We were watching Glow. We were getting caught up on Glow previously.
Okay.
Do you know the Netflix show Glow?
I've seen the show. I haven't watched it, but yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Buddy, do yourself a favor. Stay in the same universe and go check out Glow. I think you might really enjoy it. It's based on the same geographical area, and it actually takes place here. But point being, it's an 80s throwback type show. Oh, did we lose each other here? Are you still? You're still there. All right. For whatever reason, we're having
sketchy. Yeah,
we're having very Zoom-like issues at the moment. I'm going to try and get through this, but
cool.
We were watching Glow, and once we finished that, I said, "All right, now she's ready. Like we're in that universe. We're prepped in cheesy '80s nostalgia." I went boom right back into where we left off. We had watched 3 episodes of the first season, and I picked up right on episode 4. We mowed right through them because once she understood the OC analogy of like, oh, just treat the show like the OC, and it's going to move and you're going to love it. She got it and it clicked. And by same as me at the end of episode 5, it was like, yeah, okay, all right. And we finished the first season like that, and we're already on to the second season. And what I noticed the second time through, having just watched the second movie, is that the second season is the second movie.
Is it really? Okay, cool.
There's a lot. The little drum and the tapestries. There's a lot. And about honor versus power. A lot of stuff there. And it's really good stuff. And I'm really taken by it. But it does bring up a lot of points that I meant to. Remember I told you last week I wish I took notes. I meant to, and I didn't because I was so whatever. All right. Well, I did make a couple notes this time of things that I have noticed.
Okay.
One, the OC, I already mentioned that, and that really unlocks the show for you. By the way, season 2 is when it just straight up transposes, becomes the OC, because the storylines and everything else start duplicating. The character, ironically named Tory. Do you remember her? Does she remind you of
with
anybody?
a Y. Actually spells it just like me and everything. Yeah, Tory with a Y. That's how I tell people all the time. It's funny.
Does she remind you of anybody that we might know in real life?
Anyone?
All of us, you, me, and our viewers would all know.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe. It's G.I. Jen to me all day long.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, even with the Krav Maga and doing the whole thing, like just kicking ass.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, yeah.
Not the stealing of the vodka and the country club and everything, not that part, but just physically and the whole like, I'm not taking any shit.
Girl power. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Much better way to say that. Johnny's Challenger, future prop car, already a prop car. Do we know? Are people making these?
I don't know. I should ask my buddy Scott. World. I'm sure he's probably already tried to buy it if it's even a thing still. I don't know. But yeah, I would imagine that car will probably be worth something someday because
Well,
the
no,
show's
even if it's
doing
not his,
well.
I'm just saying. Do you think other people are replicating the? Like, I feel like
Oh, I imagine. Yeah,
when
I
we
would
do
think
go
so.
out, there's tons of kids with the Cobra Kai shirts and everything else these days. So my point is, like, in a few years, those kids are going to have a little bit of money, and they're going to be buying
Yep.
2009 Challengers and painting yellow stripes
Yeah.
on them and Cobra Kai
Yeah,
stitching and
exactly.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Do you
I could
think?
see that happening. I think so. Yeah.
I find that anytime there's a custom car on a show or whatever, I mean, this is '80s logic, man. They did that shit on purpose. You put a custom car in a hit show, it takes off. You sell the cars, it becomes a whole thing. Isn't that why Pontiac gave their cars to Knight Rider?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's been a thing for a long time. I mean, going back to like Hurry Fully Loaded, that one of my big complaints about that movie is it felt like a big GM commercial for an hour and a
Oh right,
half,
yeah,
and that's
you
essentially what
yeah
it was because
yeah you have said that. I
they,
forgot.
yeah, they the GTO hadn't even, I don't think it had even come out yet. Like that was the first like kind of public glimpse of the new GTO. It was still the 5.7, like they hadn't even brought out the 6.0 yet, but that was like GM wanted that product placement for, for trying to get the public behind the new GTO or whatever. So yeah, I mean that stuff's been going on for a long time. So it would not surprise me in the least bit if if Chrysler, whoever, I don't know who runs that. What is it now? Is it Daimler? Is it?
It was
I don't even
Daimler
know.
for
It's
for ages. I think it might. Oh no, no. You know who?
FCH or
Johnny
something now or
Lieberman was here.
something.
He
Or
told us it's called Atlantis now or something. But that's
yeah, there you go.
Stellantis.
Okay,
Stellantis.
there you go. So that sounds like a freaking erectile dysfunction drug to me.
I think that's what he said
Stellantis.
too.
Like, oh, did he really?
I
Yeah,
think so.
that's
Well, because
that's
it's
so weird.
yeah, because it's dangling.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
not in
strange.
how I meant. It's
No,
getting worse.
touche, my friend. That's the problem. That's why you need to take the Talantis, Jay. Then that problem goes away. Um, but apparently, yeah, like that's. I would think that somewhat like that's intentional. Like Stellantis probably paid YouTube or whoever to put that car in there. Who knows?
So good. But I'm just thinking that I mean, if, I want to buy a '29 Challenger now and do that to it. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah, it'd be
that's
cool.
cool, and that would kill at
Yeah.
the car shows.
Yep.
All right, now we're gonna go skip ahead a little bit. She hasn't seen these, but these are my memory from the first one, and something I wanted to tell you. A quick story that we'll finish with, if that's all right.
Yeah.
I noticed no Chad McQueen, but Chad McQueen's
hmm
character is
I
referred
know.
to
I
a
know.
lot, and it
I
sounds
know.
like, is he in prison? Did they send him up? It sounds like he was doing some time in prison.
Could be.
Well,
Yeah.
Dutch is
Yeah.
doing 6 to 8 up in.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. And he's racing Porsches or something and got caught.
Yeah, I absolutely would in no way expect Chad McQueen to be in it, but
But damn, that'd be cool.
I totally wanted him to be. I totally
I
wanted
know.
him to
I
be,
just a
and I'm gonna
cameo
tell
or
you,
something. Like,
I'm gonna tell you that I'm going to now petition Chad. I want to see if I can talk to Chad. Well, I can talk to Chad. I want to see if I can get Chad to do it. I'm sure he's got a million and one reasons not to, but
yeah.
but it does lead me into the thing I want to talk about. So she hasn't seen this episode yet, but there is a Cobra Kai. I would call it a reunion episode, the reminiscing episode. You know what I'm talking about? With the original guys.
Yeah. Is she watching? I don't want to spoil anything.
That's what I'm saying. So let's not talk about it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That episode.
There festivities at a bar
Yeah,
and a
probably. They go
camping trip
camping and stuff.
involved?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
But
Yeah.
it's with
Okay.
the
Yeah, I
old
know
with
what
the
you're talking
old
about.
Cobra Kai. Okay. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
this became a very, very special episode for me personally, Jay Ryan.
Okay.
And I didn't tell it
Okay.
last week, and I think it's almost because I don't know if I just didn't want to get emotional or what, didn't want to scare Spike Ferris
Oh
away.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
yeah. I want to hear this now.
No. I think I know I've told this story on the show before, but Cobra Kai wasn't back around yet. Years and years and years ago, when I first moved to Los Angeles, I used to work on a show called Felicity, and it's around that time frame. It was 2000, 2001, something like that. Maybe 99,
Okay.
99, 2000, something like that. Um, that the Felicity isn't relevant other than that's the time frame for this. I used to hang out with, actually it is kind of relevant. I used to hang out with the hairdresser from the hairstylist, the department head from Felicity, but it happens to be the person who cut Felicity's hair, which was like a big controversial thing. Do you remember when Felicity cut her hair? All right. So I used to hang out with that hairstylist. We used to hang out outside of work. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And one of the places we used to go was a restaurant on La Cienega. In fact, we'd go to all the restaurants on La Cienega, but we would go frequently to this place called Delmonico's. It was a surf and turf type place. It was a old school steakhouse where you'd get lobster and just the bib.
I've actually been to Delmonico's. I know exactly what you're talking about. The red beef.
Seriously? It's not there anymore. Now it's literally Fogo de Chao. If you've been to Fogo de Chao, now it's literally the same spot.
Okay, yeah. No, this was
and it used to share
ago.
a wall with a famous sushi place, which name doesn't matter because whatever. But if you've been there, whatever, it's right on La Cienega.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Delmonico's used to have a bartender, and Laura and I used to hang out at the bar because I used to drink, and we used to drink pretty well. And there was a bartender by the name of Rob. Robbie was his name, but his full name is Rob Garrison. Rob used to, after a handful of times coming in and us saying he was so familiar, finally he told us why he was so stinking familiar. He played Tommy in Karate Kid and the Karate Kid sequels. He was, put him in a body bag, with the whole face and the whole thing was just totally intense.
Guy. Yeah.
To the point where in Cobra Kai, Johnny makes the line at one point, he's like, something happened to Tommy. He's like, yeah, Tommy got brain damage, we think, after that. He was never the same. Do you remember that? Because he was in the first movie, he was like, yeah!
Yeah. He was always like on crack. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, this guy was so nice, and after he, sort of told us it wasn't a secret, but like he wasn't just telling everybody who came into the restaurant, hey man, I used to be in Karate Kid.
Yeah.
But after we knew that, it became like, we would go there and hang out with him all the time, and we would close the place down, and I would be behind the bar. It was after hours, I'd be allowed behind the bar, and I'd make drinks for everybody who worked there. Like, it was a really fun time. Keep in mind, I was like 22, 3 years old, whatever it was in 2000.
Yeah.
So I was really young and irresponsible. But we really were good friends with this guy. And he passed away recently. And I hadn't seen him in 15 years, probably. 2005 would have probably been at the latest. And I thought he was already dead. I mean, he was dead by the time I'm watching this. But point being, he wasn't dead when they shot it. So he's in it. My friend is in this, and he's the friend who's dying. He's it was very, very strange to be able to go through my friend's death that I didn't get to. This is crazy. It parallels the Challenger story. To get to go through my friend's death with his Cobra Kai buddies, but I didn't get to go through it live. It was like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Surrogately going through it on the show. It was a weird emotional thing that I got way more into than I thought I would, because I was like, I really thought they got an actor to play the part. And then I looked it up because I was like, that fucking looks like him.
And it was really him.
He's just really old and he's bald now, but that really looks like him. And he was balding then. But it was just a really weird thing. It was really cool. So.
And then he died in real life not long after that, huh?
Correct. Really not long after that at all.
Oh man, that's really sad.
So for that alone, and by the way, when he really did die, Chad McQueen, the real Chad McQueen in real life, did a lovely social media post when Rob did die.
Really?
And that's when I think maybe when Chad and I started interacting. I come to think of it, it was 2019.
That's so weird. Small world.
Yeah, I mean, he was nothing but he was the bartender who became our friend. I never did anything professional with him. He still wanted to be an actor. He just wasn't working. He was older. He didn't look the same. He was just another old man.
That sucks. You gotta wonder though, anytime I'm in LA and I go to a restaurant like that or something, how many of those people have been in movies?
Closely.
I mean, a lot, right? I mean,
if they're not kids, yes, because they're either still trying to do it or they'd get the F out of this town.
Exactly. So
I mean, there's not much reason to be here anymore unless you're working.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's crazy.
It was neat.
Aw,
I'm sorry I told that. So I got
sad.
so it was all coming out in real time.
Wow. No, I had no idea. That's nuts.
Yeah, he was a
Wow.
really nice guy. So shout out to the late Rob Garrison. Really cool dude.
Aw, poor Rob.
Cobra Kai!
Poor one.
Cobra Kai never
Cobra
die!
Kai.
No mercy! Strike first,
Put him
strike
in a
hard,
body
no
bag.
mercy! So where we are now, I think I think we finished episode 4 of season 2. And I'll
Okay.
tell you this, going through the second time, it is really like the OC because I'm like really picking up on it now. And it's just so
Yeah,
much
I
fun.
bet.
It's so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
fun. This is definitely a
yeah.
good show for kids. If you can get your kids to watch it, do get them to watch it because the messages are great. They are a little
They really are.
confusing. They're a little
Yeah.
confusing, much like life these days. You know,
Yeah.
the good guy does the bad things and the bad guy does the good things because the good guy isn't really a good guy and the bad guy isn't really a bad guy. We're all just the same, you know?
Yeah.
I would,
I like it.
you said you were going to watch it again. I would say if I were to be so bold, I would say you should watch Glow and then jump back in because it's the same world. It's really fun.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll
Plus, I
check out
think you would
Glow.
like Glow, and I think I meant to tell you that last time. I told you about the Goldbergs because of the '80s and everything, but you should watch
Yes.
Glow for
Yes.
Mark Maron alone. He should have won an Emmy for that. If he didn't, he might have been nominated. He's
Okay,
really good in
cool.
it.
I'll check out some Glow. Yeah, I think I've watched everything about space on Netflix, so I think I'm caught up on space.
Have you seen the movie? I could give you homework. Have you seen the movie Mission to Mars? It's
No, haven't.
from like
Mm-mm.
early 2000s, maybe 2000. It's a Brian De Palma
Okay.
film, who is a very well-known, reputable director, if I can say it.
Okay.
He did a movie called Mission to Mars that has a fantastic cast: Don Cheadle,
Okay.
Gary Sinise, Tim Robbins, great people,
Nice.
and and Jerry O'Connell. But the
And just
story,
stick him on the end.
the story on this one is really good and interesting. And if you talk to anybody who actually studies like that stuff, they say that this is probably the closest for how we got here, kind of deal.
Really? Okay, cool.
Potentially. I mean, if you
Interesting.
believe in these sort of things and the zoom out theories, it's a really neat
Hmm.
movie. I think you would enjoy. And it's
Cool.
about going to Mars, obviously, but it's about a NASA team. And
Sweet.
if when I go down the NASA rabbit hole, I watch them all again. So like I go to the
Yeah,
Apollo
of course.
11 and I go to Apollo 13. I do them all. Like I said,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah.
into it recently with the Moon one, the TV show on HBO. If you get a chance,
Yes.
From the Earth to the Moon.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like
Yeah,
you
I'll have
got
to
me
check
hyped
that one
up
out.
again. I'm
Happens every time.
why? You say something for a while.
I don't know. I think we just get excited about, stuff. Well, I guarantee you a lot of it is because we don't talk as much because we want to save it for the show. And then we've got an hour and, 10 minutes to squeeze it all in. And we've got all this, let me tell you about my week. And yeah, it's just a lot we've had a lot happen in the last week. We've watched a lot in the last week.
I think you're right. There's a cram at the end. It seems like we have all the time in the world in the first half hour, and we tend to go
Yeah.
really slow. And then it's like we start to speed up, and it's just more and more and more as the clock ticks out.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I wanted to get to all this stuff, and we got all the time in the world. We'll just get to it next week. But I think you and I both just like hitting on all those points.
Yeah, or I thought my sappy story would be 5 minutes, and it's 10.
It's funny.
Is there anything
Did you
else
watch?
that I didn't? Oh, go ahead.
Did you watch Jeff Zwart's episode on Fresh Brewed and Air Cooled? That was good.
No, I haven't, and it's on my queue, and I will. I started it, and I watched a few minutes of it. So I mean, yes,
Cool.
I guess I've watched a little bit of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
Cool.
I was
Shout out
taken
to
by the
Ray.
facial hair
Still.
on all the guys. Thought that was
I
funny.
know, right? Ray looks hard, dude. I was like, damn, son, like you
I
look,
thought he was Iron Man. He looked like Iron Man.
dude. I know, like it's just like completely different. Like like I'd probably cross the street like before running into him if I saw him like that
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
dark alley. Like he looks like he kick your ass.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It was pretty funny. Well, hence the Iron Man. He looked like a badass to me for sure.
Yeah, he looks like a badass. Like he should have a leather jacket on and some freaking Doc Martens or something. Like in a freaking chain wallet. Yeah, he looks like a hard ass now. It's funny. I mean, it looks great on him, but yeah, I was like, Ray, like
There,
it just I wasn't expecting it. It's hilarious.
what I do want to say about that episode, and one of the things I think it maybe happened afterwards, so it's probably not discussed there, but I do want to give a very heartfelt condolences to Jeff Zwart, who lost his dad this week. His dad was old and used to visit him all the time at the place and take him for rides in the car and bring Jezebel to visit. And, he wasn't a spring chicken, so it's not like it was a surprise, but anytime it happens, it's a bummer. And we love you, Jeff Zwart, so much from the heart. The misses myself and Tory too. We just we love you, and condolences, R.I.P. to your pop. And I don't know. It is what it is. I think the whole thing's cyclical. So in my mind, I'm like, where did he pop up? Is he going to be, is he going to be Jeff's next dog?
You and I have both lost parents, so it's just not easy, man. I mean,
and we did a lot younger than most.
We did, we did. But it's just, it's just, when I say, when someone tells me, they lost a mom or they lost a dad or whatever, it's like, I never know what to say. Cause it's like, I have no words. Like, I know what you're going through, but like nothing I'm going to tell you is going to make you feel any better.
Don't you think that's the right answer? Because that's what I wanted at the time, and everybody was trying to tell me shit.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted that guy. Really I wanted exactly what you just said. Somebody who looks at me.
I really do. Yeah.
Looks at me with the eyes that say, I know what you're going through, but they don't have to say shit.
Yep, I agree. That's literally the best thing you could ever tell somebody, because, I had the same thing. I had people telling me, oh, time heals all wounds. It's all bullshit. No, it doesn't. Like, I still miss my mom as bad as the day that I lost her. And it's, she got a shit deal.
Everything's true and untrue at the same time.
Exactly. Yes. But, the whole, it'll be better. No, it doesn't ever get better. Like, you get to where you can deal with it, but it doesn't ever get better. Like, So, I wish someone would have just told me, like, I have no words. I'm so sorry. But I know what you're going through, So,
so much love to Jeff Zwart.
Definitely.
Let's see. I noticed that, if you couldn't tell from my shirt today representing Hunziker Design, I brought in this one so I would match. I'm wearing my needle mask to match my needle shirt. However, if you notice, look closely, they're from different generations. That's right.
You can walk down the street with that. Someone's like, man, you have a tachometer fetish or what?
Yeah, man, this guy loves pushing it to the limit.
He loves tachometer. Put him in a body bag, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. Oh, Rob Garrison. Anyway, if you run into somebody who isn't wearing a mask, and they should be, you could say to them, hey, man, need a mask? Shop Hunziker. That's what we did. A quick announcement from the other day. We didn't do this on the show on Spikes. I forgot, but if you recall, there was a big print.
Oh, who won the print?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to tell you. It was Mark Goldbaum. Magold Photos. Magold Photos is his Instagram handle. Magold Photos, and he won that, and he's got the stickers as well. And it was a lovely print from our friends Ron Goodman and Speed 23 down there in Australia. Good stuff.
Down under.
And it's pretty cool because he was like, I think I even have a frame for this already. And he started combing through
the awesome.
Stuff. So he was pretty excited. So congrats to Mark Goldbaum. Let's see. I should probably tell you about St. Clair Insurance since they're paying the bills. Oh, goodness. It's funny. It sounds like I'm going, they say. Here, Tory, why don't you read one? Here, you do it. I'm just kidding.
Zoom in there, buddy.
Can you imagine if that worked? That'd be great.
Oh, I would totally do that. Text it to me. I'll do it.
Oh, we should. I'd love to hear you do one. Anyway, they say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance has coverage for your toys. What kind of toys do I mean, Tory?
Any kind of toys, cars, trucks, boats, RVs, watercraft, you name it, St. Clair Insurance has got your back, baby.
That's exactly right. Or if you're even an existing Haggerty customer and you don't have a rep currently, if you just signed up through the Haggerty website or something, Haggerty, believe it or not, wants you to have a rep. So why not? Dial up coverageforyourtoys.com. Check out St. Clair Insurance. Get yourself a rep. Get yourself a little bit of TLC and some good insurance for your toys. Water skis? Did we say water skis? Oh, we can't do water skis. Water skis aren't motored. You don't
skis.
insure water skis. Jet skis, yeah.
Jet skis, baby. Watercraft. Coverage for your toys.
When I just said that, I was like, jet boat. Yeah. Sorry, Dad. Remember? You remember Great Outdoors? You folks want to cruise the lake in comfort, or you want to get a jet boat? Jet boat. Sorry, Dad.
Jet boat.
All right, buddy. I love you so much. I think that you are fantastic. I hope that you don't have to run the furnace too bad too soon.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, it's not terrible. I think it was like 70 degrees today. Like it got up to 70, but yeah, it's been dipping down at night. It's getting a little chilly at night.
You did make it sound a little chillier than that. All right. Well, I love you so much. And we love everybody at home. Please love one another. I'm trying to think of what's going on here. Thursday, we've got a great guest I should tell you about before I keep the bubbles on here. We've got Madeline Smithberg. Madeline Smithberg was a producer on Late Night with David Letterman back in the day. She also created a little tiny show you may have heard of, even to this day, The Daily Show. Back then
Nice.
It was Craig Kilborn, later Jon Stewart. Now we have our Trevor Noah. She's going to be with us. She's the host of Mad in the Kitchen currently on the YouTube. And we're going to be talking about her channel. And maybe she'll be nice enough to do some cooking demonstrations for us here on our bubbles.
Sweet.
Sorry, Madeline. I'm trying to do a proper plug. It's snowing bubbles. Anyway, Madeline Smithberg will be here next week. Thursday. And then next week, Gabe Abelson will be here on Thursday. He was
awesome.
He was a head writer, actually, on Letterman, and used to do the monologues. And he's been here before. He does mentalism. And he's also Tory, for you, buddy. You probably recall he's also like best friends with Tom Green. And we've been trying to get Tom Green here. And I said, hey, would you put in a good word for us? You know, trying to get Tom here as well because we're trying to get him on the show. Even if not in person, I think he'd dig what we're up to over here. And Gabe was all about that. So hopefully we'll be putting that together. But in the meantime, Madeline and Gabe will be here. Buddy, I've talked myself out of everything. I'm so sorry to go on and on and on. Are we good? Did we get to it all?
We're good, man.
I love everybody. Love one another. On behalf of Tory and myself, see you next week.